or, and so in that case, that dealer may have gotten a continuation letter or a participation letter, how you want to call it,
Right.
for Chevrolet. He may have received a wind down letter
on Cadillac.
for Cadillac.
Okay.
So there's a lot of this going on, and the dealers have until June 12th. I mean, this whole thing is a very tight
I did see that.
time frame. So they have until June 12th to either accept the participation agreement and get it in, and accept the wind down letter and get it in, or their termination or their franchises are terminated now, and they automatically go into the old GM. So it's the agreements aren't much. There's not any room for negotiation.
Right. And I did read that the process within 60 to 90 days.
Yes, I mean
GM,
they're it's like right now with Chrysler. Chrysler's coming out of their situation here in a 30-day process almost, and there's still some things to be worked out with that and what have you. But it's a pretty quick process, and GM is hoping, quite frankly, for the same thing to be done by the end of the summer at the latest.
Are you getting a lot of support, or are you seeing more or less support from the district level or the higher up level management into GM from what you typically did? For example, a district manager coming in to visit a store. Do you notice an increase or decrease in any of those types of visits recently? Or?
We're not seeing many visits right now.
Okay.
And unfortunately, your district reps, they're not privy to a lot of what's happening.
Right.
I mean, a lot of what's happening is very, very serious. It's very historical, very confidential, and unfortunately, even our district reps are they don't know.
They don't know.
And they can't. And like I've talked to them, and they're almost like, we rather not know, and I can respect that.
Right.
Because they don't want to be bombarded.
Exactly.
And what have you, and be accused of this or that or whatever the case may be. So it's probably best that they don't. And so I talk to them I talk to them all the time on a regular basis. But as far as them coming in, I think they got their work cut out.
Full plate.
Yes, right now on everything that's going on. And quite frankly, I mean every day something else is changing.
Exactly.
So I mean this is all again historic times, and everybody's just taking it as it goes.
Exactly, I understand. How do you see the bankruptcy affecting the industry as a whole? And what's GM and the Automotive Task Force, the direction that they're going, how do you see that affecting everything in the future?
Going back, like when I said with the Cadillac dealerships, there's just too many, and there wasn't a concentration of I'm going to sell Cadillacs, and that's been the same thing with all of GM, and that's the task force and General Motors themselves have said over the years, and even the dealers have said the same thing. There's just too many dealers.
Right.
There's just too many dealers out there for what's available, and if you take, we all know as dealers, as a manufacturer, that you're not going to sell everybody. It's like going fishing. There's a school of fish. You're not going to catch all those fish.
Exactly.
And we understand that. And so in a way with so many dealers, everybody's as GM dealers, our competition, generally speaking, is Ford, Chrysler, Honda, Toyota, Hyundai, Nissan, and right now with so many dealers, we're not only competing with those people, but we're competing with our own
self.
Our own self,
right.
Because there's too many.
Right.
We've got so many Chevy dealers. We've got so many PP&G dealers, and so we're not only competing with them, but we're competing with our own associates.
I did read something on that where with decreasing the number of dealerships, it'll allow GM to focus more on the existing stores and give them more support and not dilute their efforts as much.
Well, and not only from GM's point of view, but from the dealership's point of view. Example, if you had, let's say for instance, this month in this market area, let's say Chevrolet, there's there's 100 people going to buy Chevrolets this month, and there's 3 dealers right in this local market area, and let's say the dealer's break-even point to be profitable is 30 cars. Well, let's say dealer A sells 45 of those people, dealer B sells 25, and dealer C sells 30. Okay, dealer A makes a little money. Dealer B, he loses, and dealer C just breaks even. And that's what's happening in our industry. Either dealers are either just making a little bit, or they're breaking even, and they don't have. So therefore, they don't have enough to reinvest into their facility, to go out and be stronger in the market, exactly, in the marketplace,
the latest technology,
and what have you. And so with decreasing. Let's say in that particular example, you decrease it down to 2 dealers, get one guy goes away, and all of a sudden out of that 100, dealer A sells 60, he's very profitable. Dealer B sells 40, he's profitable.
And can keep up.
And they can keep up, and they're not struggling. And then you have an image situation. If you got GM dealers coming and going in communities like we've seen, it's not good for the image.
Exactly.
And then from the consumer's point of view, it puts a little doubt: is this person going to be around? Not, or is he or isn't he? So that way, it just makes the dealer body stronger. They can go and concentrate on their efforts, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier, like with Cadillac dueled with either a Chevy or a Pontiac Buick GMC dealership. If that Chevy dealer is, generally speaking, concentrating on selling Chevys, and Cadillac is kind of second thought, or whoever comes in,
right? Okay,
that's great, but it's not good for the manufacturer.
Exactly.
And it's not good for that other that Cadillac dealer. That's a single point dealer that could use those sales to strengthen. So by taking that franchise away from him, he strictly concentrates. He concentrates on Chevrolets. He concentrates on Cadillac. And that's what General Motors is looking to do. You know, they want the Chevy dealers to concentrate on Chevy, they want Cadillac concentrated on Cadillac, and they want Buick GMC dealers concentrating there. They're listening to a thing on the TV the other day with them. Chevrolet kind of competing with Toyota, Buick GMC competing against the Nissan, and Cadillac competing against the Infiniti and Lexus type. And that's kind of the way they want to go. So there's a lot of talk where dealers don't cost the manufacturers any money. Well, they don't. I mean, we pay for our cars, we pay for our brochures, we pay. I mean, we pay for everything.
Correct.
However, because of what I just got done saying, you know, you can't properly reinvest in the business and promote more and concentrate more, and that's why I think they're looking at doing the, you know, decreasing the number of dealers and what have you, and that'll just make the whole
everything stronger.
Distribution, yes, much stronger. Absolutely.
Good.
Yes.
We're here today with Tom Casto, General Manager of Premier Pontiac GMC. And if you have any questions or comments or future topics that you would like to talk about, you can email Tom at tcasto@premierpontiac.com, and those are things that we'll look at for future. But getting back to you know, the bankruptcy, how do you see the bankruptcy affecting, you know, the customers and maybe the customers' perception of the value of GM? I mean, I think based on what we talked about so far, it's going to be all good, because the experience from the consumer, they're going to see these changes evolving at the dealership level.
Well, GM's not going away. GM will be there. They'll be stronger because of all this. And you know, as far as when the first day of filing, the first thing that General Motors did was, when they made their filings, they put in there that they needed to make sure that there's money, there's money for warranties, okay? That there's no interruption in that.